There it is, folks. Live pictures, the great city of Chicago. And we're joined right now by the former governor of the great state of Illinois, Blagojevich. He's the author of the new tell-all book, The Governor. Finally, the truth behind the political scandal that continues to rock the nation. Governor, it's great to meet you and great to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
What's our goal here? We want to do the least hard-hitting interview of all time.
Yeah, we want to be talked about by the bloggers about all the softballs we threw you.
So my first question is, why are all these people being so mean to you?
Well, which ones? There's so many. I can't begin to start telling you.
No, but really, tell us why you wrote a memoir. Why did you write this book before the trial?
You know, conventional wisdom says you shouldn't do that. The traditional lawyers say, don't say anything, just wait till trial, because anything you say now, they might be able to use against you in a court of law. Well, if you're lying, I suppose that's true. But when you're telling the truth, and you know what the truth is, then it's the truth today, it's going to be the truth in 6 months, and it was the truth last week. And in my book, I tell the story about how I was falsely accused of things I didn't do, how a sitting governor elected twice by the people was ripped out of office based on false accusations, where a prosecutor at a super sensational press conference, after he had me locked up in a jail cell, lied to the people by saying he was, quote-unquote, stopping a crime spree before it happened. He mutilated the truth, when in fact the truth was, the very morning before I was arrested, I directed over the telephone my chief of staff to work out the tactics on what was a political deal, very routine, that in exchange for making someone I disdained, the Attorney General of Illinois, my Senate pick, because her father was a House Speaker who was blocking health care and jobs and wanted to raise taxes. I wanted a public works bill that would put 500,000 people to work. I wanted to expand health care to 50,000 to 300,000 people, and I wanted a written guarantee not to raise taxes. Rahm Emanuel, the President's Chief of Staff, was involved in working with us. Senator Durbin offered to help. Menendez from New Jersey offered to help. That deal would have happened. People would have gotten jobs, health care, no taxes.
So you clearly believe you've done nothing wrong. Nothing. Underline nothing. Nothing?
I am absolutely certain I have violated no laws. I never remotely intended to violate any laws. Okay, we had a lot of discussions and conversations exploring all kinds of ideas. Some were good, some were stupid, some were creative. That's what you're supposed to do when you govern. That's how you get good things done for people. But never did I intend to violate any laws. And I've taken this position.
Okay, Willie.
You should hear all the tapes. Hear all the tapes. It's my accusers who are preventing us from telling you what's on those tapes.
Hopefully we will hear those tapes at the trial. Joe and Meek are out in California, guys.
And Rod, it's good seeing you. Just stop.
I'd like to
Rod, it's good seeing you again. You're looking good.
Are you trying to
let me ask the tough question first, okay? He's my friend. I'm going to ask him the tough question. What's happened to the Cubs this year, Rod?
Hey, Joe, it's good talking to you. How your son's doing?
They're doing great.
Please. Are you kidding me?
We've been
Let me answer your question.
Years. And he cares.
Cut his mic.
No, ask the tough question.
Okay, I got it.
What's happened to the Cubs?
Somebody asked me that question recently. Who's had a worse year than you? You or the Cubs? And I said, I guess I've had a worse year. There's always next year for the Cubs and for me, but it wasn't as good of a year as we thought. They've not, but they've won like three or four in a row.
Are you trying to influence the outcome of your trial by writing this book? Because oh, come on.
Stop being a moral scholar.
All right, let's play tape. I got the tape of you on the phone. I want you to try and explain it.
I am so embarrassed.
Let's roll the sound tape right now.
God, Willie, can you?
What?
He said, what's her name?
We don't have
We have the tape?
We don't have that?
What's wrong with you?
I think I know what it is.
The people inside the control room not to have the tape.
He's getting off.
Yeah, hey, Willie, you ask the next tough question.
Well, let's talk about the tape that we didn't hear there. So you say the tapes that were played by the prosecutor, had that very publicly, were selectively chosen, even edited, perhaps. What will we hear in the full tapes that you say will vindicate you?
Well, I think Mika was wanting to have you hear that tape, the alleged one where I supposedly say this thing is effing golden and you're not getting it. He's not going to get it for nothing. It's a valuable thing. I know what people think when they hear a prosecutor say that. I know what you think must come next. I don't have to fill in the blanks. Anybody with reasonable common sense would expect that. Let me assert to you, that is absolutely not the case, what you think might come next. I can't tell you, because the prosecutor's gone to court and prohibit me from telling you the next sentence or two or the next paragraph. I can tell you this, though, that it was about politics, it was about helping the people of Illinois, and it was about a role to help on health care. It had nothing to do with financial gain to me.
No mention of any job for you?
Willie?
No discussion of one thing for another for financial gain. Absolutely not.
But what about a job? A different job for you?
We're talking about a month or 6 weeks of conversations. And again, I can't tell you specifically what they all were. We talked about a whole bunch of things. We talked about Oprah Winfrey as possibly a senator. I even talked about the possibility in jest of making the prosecutor the U.S. attorney. And I asked my pollster whether or not, how do you even offer the guy that? He might think you're trying to bribe him. So there were conversations that were filled with mischief.
Jump in here and just say, no, I just want to say this to Willie Geist.
Yeah.
You know what makes me sad, Willie Geist?
Go ahead.
That they are trying to criminalize the governor's attempt to give the people of Illinois health care.
Exactly.
What's wrong with
You heard what he...
That's what
seriously,
this is all about.
this is all about
That's what it's all about?
It is.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Okay, Joe,
That's illuminating.
Ariana has a
I have one
question.
quick question. Governor, you are saying obviously that you are innocent, but I'm sure you are not saying that you are flawless, because nobody... So what has been so far your biggest mistake?
My biggest mistake, and I've made several. I don't at all pretend that I am flawless. I've made several mistakes, misjudgments in people, certainly, but I've never broken any law, never intended to break a law. I write in my book that my biggest mistake...
But what has been your biggest mistake?
It's the relationship with Tony Resco, the same friend and supporter that President Obama has. He acknowledged that was a mistake. He called it boneheaded. I look back now, he's not the person we thought he was. I didn't know he was involved in wrongdoing, and obviously, had I known that, I would have a different relationship.
So who did
You
they
said
get
you never
to roll
intended to
over
break the law.
Which one's throwing? Is that
ahead, Mike.
Mika, or is that you, Mike? Go ahead.
Who did they get to roll over on you, do you think? They must have someone, the prosecution must have someone that they rolled and said, give us the governor.
Well, I'm not in a position to talk specifically about all of the facts in the case, but there are some people who've done some things wrong who are now willing, perhaps... Let me talk about Resco. Resco wrote a letter to a federal judge, and I wish you'd listen. Mika, I hope you're listening. The letter to the federal judge who is going to sentence him, he wrote a letter to this judge, and he said that the prosecutors were trying to twist his arms before he was convicted of his crimes to say things about Barack Obama and me. He said he refused to lie about either Barack Obama or me, and then he wrote he was never involved in any criminal wrongdoing with either one of us. Then they put him in a jail cell after he was convicted, and he spent 23 out of 24 hours in that cell, according to published reports. No newspapers, no books, no radio, no TV, and they kept him segregated from the rest of the population, isolated, and now they've broken him, and apparently now he's prepared to say things that he was involved with me and lie about me. When before they did this to him, he wrote a letter saying no wrongdoing. These are the tactics our government is going to get a guy they've been trying to get, and it is un-American. I write in my book, this is a fight about America as much as it is about me. And Joe, you are so great, man. I love you.
Hey, Willie Geist,
Yes.
if you could ask the governor, and he will be governor again, I predict, how can we set up a legal defense fund and put it on our website?
my God.
Well,
we're going to figure that out.
We'll do it, Joe, but we're going to be fighting mean-spirited attacks like the ones you've heard from Mika Brzezinski here this morning. We will stand tall in the face of that. Governor Blagojevich,
He's quite a
good luck with the book. The whole story's in there, his side of it anyway. Thanks for being here.
Really, thank you so much.
Coming up next, what, if anything, did we learn today?